Hi everyone, good morning. Today is Sunday, November 17th, and I had a dream last night. Before I get into the dream, I haven't had a dream in like a good 2 or 3 days now, so I am looking forward to sharing this dream. And also, last night when my husband and I were reading the Bible together, we had both of our Bibles out. So he has a King James and a CSB, and I have a King James and an NLT. We both received a conviction that we should stick with the King James, and I'm going to explain why, because I know previously I had done a video on that I have a King James and an NLT, but that I enjoyed reading both. We were reading I forget which chapter and verse it was, but when we compared it to our other versions that we have, so he compared it to his CSB and I compared it to my NLT, it was different and it added some things to it. We both received a conviction almost at the same time that we should stick with the King James. We're going to be sticking to our King James from now on. So I wanted to share that. To start off with the dream, in the dream, I was watching the news and it was like I was waiting for them to get to the part on how to submit a demo reel for people who want to be news reporters. And it reminded me of how when I was younger, I wanted to be a news reporter. And I used to pretend that I was a news reporter, giving the news and all of that. And after I graduated from high school, my first semester of college, I took journalism and communication courses because that's what I wanted to do originally. And then after that, they started talking about a stomach bug that's going around. They started saying, yeah, there's a stomach bug or a stomach virus that's going around, which kind of reminded me of how a lot of people have been getting sick from eating fast food. Also, just other food items that have been recalled. And I was a little bit sick too last week. So it did remind me of that part of the dream. And then the scene changed. As I say, the scene changed. I see a political figure. He didn't look like anyone I had seen ever before. He had a darker complexion, and there was one man on his left side, one man on his right side, and they were holding his hands up, like if he had won a victory, like if he had just won some type of political thing, or if either he won something or was saying something that people were like, yes, this is our guy type of thing. So they were holding his hands up and he was going like this, but it almost looked like they were setting him up for something, the two men that were holding his hands up. Not sure, but it looked that way, like they were trying to move him to one area. Anyway, so he had his hands up like that, and all of a sudden somebody shoots him in the head, like a sniper or something, like somebody from farther away. They shot him in the head, and he didn't die right away. It was that fatal wound that is talked about in Revelation 13, which I'm going to refer to that in a second here. So yeah, he didn't die right away, and then when he was on the ground, he smiled. So he didn't die from that wound. And in Revelation 13, it says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." So, yeah, so it talks about talks about the beast and the fatal wound. It also talks about that in Daniel 7. So if we go to Daniel 7, let's go to verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. And then if we go to verse 11, I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. If we go to verse 19, it says, Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And it says in verse 21, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. If we go to verse 24, And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of time. And also in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, when it talks about the man of lawlessness and son of destruction, and basically the false Messiah that's to come. So that fatal wound would be healed, and everyone would be in awe about it, and they would worship him. Going back to the dream, the scene had changed in the dream, and I'm not too sure what to make of it, but it was like I was Donald Trump in the dream, and I was giving a speech, and I was reading my notes on the podium, and I was saying some things. I can't remember everything that I was saying, but one part I said, "Rejoice, says the Lord," and I said it 3 times. I said, "Rejoice, says the Lord. Rejoice, says the Lord. Rejoice, says the Lord." And when I was saying that, the crowd was cheering, and everyone was like, really excited that I was saying that. And then I made a joke about spaghetti, and it was kind of like one of those jokes that didn't really go very well. So people didn't really laugh at the joke. That was at the end. That was silly, but yeah, that's what happened. I'm not saying that Donald Trump has good intentions or he has bad intentions. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I do know from what I've seen on the news and how politics works and all of that, and his friendship with Elon Musk, I don't think that he has good intentions, and I think that they're setting the stage and paving the way for the Antichrist. So either he's using the Lord in his speech to kind of get people on his side, or maybe he does really believe in God and he's showing his support for God. I don't know, but it could be either one. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that it was a good thing or a bad thing, because I don't know. So yeah, I just wanted to share that dream that I had. So the first part being about like the news and the stomach bug that was going around, and the second part about the fatal wound, how the man didn't die, he smiled, and then about the Trump speech, how it felt like I was Trump giving a speech, and he mentioned "Rejoice, says the Lord." I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope everyone has a great day. God bless.